The town's second literary festival promised to be as big a disaster as the first. Back then, the murder of several authors, including Downton Tabby, had given Hettie Bagshot and Tilly Jenkins from the No. 2 Feline Detective Agency a real headache. Their skill and ingenuity had finally triumphed as they sifted through the evidence, putting themselves in grave danger to bring the killer to justice. In Hettie's not-so-humble opinion, a second festival should never have been attempted, whilst memories of the body count at the first were still raw. Tilly felt very differently. She was a lover of books, and consumed them as keenly as she did her favourite pastries from Betty and Beryl Butter's High Street bakery. She had only recently had to have a clear-out, as her books had begun to overwhelm the small bedsitter at the back of the bakery that she and Hettie shared, and from where they conducted their detective business. It was surprising that Hettie had agreed to attend the festival at all, but she had been coerced into helping Betty and Beryl set up the refreshment tent on the promise of a free lunch and a cream tea. Tilly had signed up to several of the events, whilst Hettie moved between a deck chair in the sun and her own reserved table in the refreshment area, from where she could observe the goings-on without getting involved in the festival itself. It was day 2 of the planned week-long procession of authors talking about themselves and their latest books, and the disasters had already begun to emerge. World-famous Queen of Crime, Agatha Christie, had to cancel at the last minute after being incapacitated by a swarm of bees, much to Tilly's disappointment, as she regarded Miss Crispy as one of her almost close friends. Saveloy Daly could no longer present his latest book of life drawings thanks to a court hearing brought by one of his models, who claimed he'd spiked her lemon barley water with high-grade Canadian catnip. Florence Brulé-Smythe had backed out of her cookery demonstration due to health and safety issues, and the fact that one of the recipes in her cookery almanac had poisoned at least 10 cats in the last month. Luckily, no one had suffered more than 3 days of extreme discomfort, and Florence was last seen boarding a flight to the Bahamas. "You look a bit lost sitting there on your own," said Betty, banging a pasty down in front of Hettie. "Get your teeth round that while it's hot. Sister is bringing you a milky tea when she's finished arguing with Garfield Blunt." Hettie looked across to the counter, where Beryl was standing her ground with a cat dressed in black from head to toe, except for a bright yellow cravat. "Who on earth is Garfield Blunt?" she asked, eyeing up her pasty appreciatively.